This is Weeknights.
Yeah.
This is Weeknights, and I'm Dash, and this is JD, and we have
Oh,
a show called Weeknights where we talk on weeknights about pop culture, entertainment, and the shameless or whatever it is you normally say. Yep. What do you say? I always forget from the something to the shameless
the greatest,
to the
the
shame.
famous, and the
Oh,
shameless.
the greatest, the famous, and the shameless. Yes. I'm never going to remember that, and I don't know why, because it's so easy.
It's all
All the
good.
words sound alike, but. But that's us, and we're Weeknight.
Yes, we are.
I
She
think I
said you
know
will not
Providence.
introduce yourself today. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no, please do. Please do. I didn't mean
I
to
mean,
hijack
you
your
already told them I'm JD, so
AKA
that's it.
he who pods. Hello. Don't you ever
Pods.
forget it.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Oh, okay. Ask me.
Do you think you'll forget Vultures Part One?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I don't think I'll forget it.
Okay, talk about it.
I don't think that the right way to say it is that I'll forget it. I just don't know if I'll continue to listen to it.
Oh, wow! I didn't expect that. All right. Well, pause for a moment. Let's let the listeners know what happened.
Okay.
Although there was a lot of hoopla surrounding when it would come out, if it come out, and then when it finally did come out, there was even more hoopla.
Mm-hmm. Lots of
We
hoopla.
do we do have Vultures One.
Yep.
And for those who don't know, that is an independent project, which we'll get to in a minute, put out by Kanye West, Ty Dolla Sign,
Yes.
which apparently my co-host doesn't know if she'll keep listening to. Talk about it.
Some of it was cool. Some of it, if I heard it out, if I heard it, in the car or, at a party or something, let me be honest, I danced along. I was listening to it while I was working, and I was sitting at my desk and I was dancing
You
along
you
to
say
some
you
of
were
the
listening to it while you were twerking?
songs. No. Although those records do exist on this album.
Yes, they do.
I don't know. I don't know. I would really have to go through it and pick out the ones I like
Okay.
in order to replay it. There's certain things that I don't want to hear again. Like, I took thorough notes.
No,
Well, you tell me first what you
you
thought
gotta
of
do
it.
like you gotta go like the guy online and go, come here.
Well, normally it's me to lean in, right? But yes, he does go come, and then we
Jordan the
zoom in.
Stallion.
Right, exactly.
Shout out to Jordan the Stallion. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. Come here.
That's my favorite part. That is always my favorite part because he's like,
He's like, and
come
there's no way I
quick.
would know that, right? No way I would know that. I don't have a notebook near me, but he'd be like, 1 pound of sugar. Uh, let the dough sit for 24 hours. Then you're gonna stir it. You want to stir it in slow motion. Stir for 2 minutes. Add salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, oregano, parsley. Stir that for another 30 seconds. Put an oven on 350 for 45 minutes and enjoy.
And don't piss him off, okay?
Right.
Because then he's
He'll,
really
he'll
reading the
tell you the
recipes.
recipe to this show right now if we make him mad.
He'd be like, I went to Chick-fil-A and the cashier
Yep.
was rude. And
It
I didn't
only takes for them to
understand.
mess up one time.
He'd
And
be
he'd
like,
be like,
here's the recipe for Polynesian sauce.
what? Like, word? What? I don't
Meanwhile,
even
everybody
know.
writing it down. Let me make my
Saving the
Polynesian sauce at
video.
home.
Love it.
So funny. But yes, I have notes, but I would
Hit it.
like to hear your initial thoughts first. I want to know initially, what do you think the replay value is? Did you like it? What's up?
Well, I asked you, and you said you don't know, and then threw it back to me. I know.
Mm.
Uh, I don't have an I don't know stance. I think this will get replayed. I think this will get some Grammy nominations. I can see this. I don't know which song. I guess we'll see.
Mm.
But I could totally see at least one of these songs getting nominated for, I always mess up the category, Best Melodic Rap Performance, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see one of these songs getting nominated for that because that's what most of these songs are. So I could see that if one of the singles did really well, it would get a Grammy nom.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd win the Grammy. It's too early in the year. I mean, it's February, but I could see that. I could see it getting a Grammy nomination for one of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I see you in your mug. I like it. You know what I mean? We all got our stuff today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Get your merch. You know what I'm saying? Sexual intellectual merch. Hardly minding my business merch. Holler at us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think the production was stellar.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the beats are super fly.
The
There's some
beats were
weird ones
great.
in there. There's some weird ones in there.
Oh,
But most of the production, huh?
we're gonna talk about weird.
Yeah.
The beats, I like the beats too. I thought the beats were great, and I didn't expect anything less from Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign. I would have been surprised if the beats weren't good.
I think Kanye really put his foot in the ass of these beats. I know he did not produce them all, but I know Kanye and he has some kind of arrangement or, suggestive hand in it.
You
And
can hear it.
truly, it's okay. I truly enjoyed the production side of this project.
Yeah, that's good.
Beats were bumping, banging, super dope.
They were great. It sound to me. What I was gonna say before was it sounds like Kanye. It's the type of beats where okay, maybe he wasn't the primary producer on it, but like you said, there's certain songs that you hear and you can tell who made it, and this felt very much like that. It felt like I could hear Kanye before I heard Kanye on the track,
Right.
and I like that. I like that. I enjoy that sort of signature sound that
Okay.
that we get from certain people. I don't want every track to sound the same, but I don't think they do. I just think that
No.
sometimes you can hear the extra sauce from that person. It's like even if it's something that's a sound that's like lives underneath the main things you hear. It's like it's almost like I said, it's almost like a signature, but
Okay.
it's almost like they put a exclamation point on the end of it. You can just tell. So I did enjoy the beats as well. The actual songs, some of them were a bit strange for me. And that's why I said, let me, please let's give our initial thoughts before I just start diving in on specific songs.
How many times you listen to it?
Twice.
Okay, same. I think Ty Dolla Sign showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think the features, who I had to go find the credits, the real credits, to find out who the features were.
Couldn't figure
But
it
I
out.
think the features showed up. I think Freddie Gibbs easily has the best verse on this project.
Okay.
That was the one song that I heard and was like, who is that?
Mm-hmm.
They are bodying this. And I had some guesses, but I didn't 100% know who it was.
Which song is that? Do you know which song it was?
No, but I have the real credits saved in case we had one of these moments.
I kept checking the credits and it kept saying Ty Dolla Sign and Kanye West. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to go find the real credits because it was fake news. You know what I'm saying? It was alternative facts.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really frustrating, actually.
Back to Me is featuring Freddie Gibbs.
Oh, I wrote something down about Back to Me. Oh, Back to Me. Beautiful, big titty, butt naked. That's the one. I believe the line is beautiful, big titty, butt naked. Don't just fall out the sky.
Butt naked women.
Butt naked women don't just fall out
Beautiful
the
big
sky.
titty.
And at one point, he says they so valuable.
Yes, that's the song. Beautiful, big titty, butt naked women just don't fall out the sky, you know.
Right. Fascinating stuff. Freddie Gibbs was great on it though.
Bodied it.
Yeah, did. I didn't know who it was, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I felt when it first came on. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I like this. And then the hook came, and I was like, what's happening? I was
I
a little
mean, when the
surprised.
song starts, that's what it starts with. And
Oh,
I
well, then
think that's Pete Davidson, by the way.
I could, really?
I could be wrong, but I think this original. I fell in love with you. We fell in love with
You think that's Pete Davidson?
you. I think so. It sound like him. I can't prove it yet, but sound like him.
Oh, he really sounds like, but interesting. Fascinating stuff. But yeah,
Yes.
it's a fun song.
Well, I
And,
just was saying,
and Freddie Gibbs
I
did.
think immaculate. Freddie Gibbs showed up. He wowed out on that verse, and it was great.
It was cool, yeah.
I loved his verse. He went off.
Yeah. He did his thing. Like I said,
Um,
I was looking for it. I immediately, um, when he came on, I immediately started looking for the same thing you did. I started looking to see who it was, but I couldn't find it. And I didn't have time to go very far, so I looked at the credits and realized the only credits that existed was Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign.
yep,
So I was there trying to figure out voices, but yes, that was an interesting song. It was surprising. I guess it just caught me off guard.
yep. And I can see why.
Because it just don't fall out the sky.
You didn't search high and low.
No, didn't search high enough.
All right, let me just finish my last thought, and then we could go to you because I don't have a lot more to say.
Okay.
I think the project is a smooth listen for the most part
Mm-hmm.
because of the beats and because Ty Dolla Sign shows up. Most of the songs, it's like, man, Ty Dolla Sign did a lot of the work here. There's not a lot for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads to my next piece.
Okay.
I don't know if Kanye and his good ghostwriters are beefing. I don't know if Kanye no longer speaks to the ghostwriters who have given him the good music, pun intended. But Kanye didn't really show up lyrically or performance wise on this project.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't really a lot of hard verses. I don't have a memorable verse from Kanye on this project. There's no verse that I'm like, oh yeah, Kanye 100% bodied this. He just kind of talking shit on every song, whether he's singing it or rapping it. Which leads to my last point. Niggas will try to hit high notes even if they just straight up can't sing. Huh? I'm really confused by that because Ty Dolla song can sing his ass off. Why would you? Okay, this is what I'm saying here. Ty Dolla Sign, Ty Dolla, Ty Dolla Sign can sing and does well this project.
Mm-hmm.
Which means when you come and try to hit a high note you can't hit, it
Mm-hmm.
stands out even more to those of us who are musically inclined. I wouldn't think someone as smart as Kanye, someone as musically inclined as Kanye would hear what we're hearing and still leave in those those unaccomplished high notes. Those high notes that were not executed well. Especially as meticulous as we know he is when it comes to the way the music sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the flip side is niggas have egos and they care more about that sometimes. But I'm not saying Kanye can't sing at all. He's all right. He's no Mariah Carey. But if Drake and J. Cole and the rest of them can harmonize, so can Kanye. I don't have a problem with that. But when you're trying to hit the high notes and sound like Alicia Keys unedited at the Super Bowl, it's not a good look, player. So yeah, I would have preferred less of the high note attempts, staying more in his vocal range. I would like to hear Kanye say some real shit. A lot of what Kanye said was just shit talking and nigga shit. One, nothing really super fly, super impressive. I don't think any of this was Kanye's best vocal performance, period, whether that's rapping or singing. And I think,
Mm-hmm.
being honest, and then after this I'll shut up, I don't think he came to do that. I don't think Kanye attempted to do his best writing, his best flows, his best singing. I think Kanye was like, I have super dope beats and Ty Dolla Sign. This shit is hard. It
Mm-hmm.
don't matter what I do. So I'ma just do whatever.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll listen to it a third and fourth time. I would put it on in the speakers while I'm cleaning the crib
Mm-hmm.
because those beats are so good. And it's just, a lot of them make you want to move,
They
even
do.
if they are talking.
I said they do make you want to move.
Yeah, even when they're talking about butt naked, big titty bitches not falling out the sky.
Yes. They do that. But
Take it away.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely an album that you want to put on when you want to have some fun, you want to have a good time. That was clear to me. Like I said, many of the songs I was dancing along. You kind of get lost. I was working, so I kind of get lost in it sometimes, and I'm just, moving in my seat or whatever. I thought that was cool. I'm never mad at that. When I turn something on for the first time and I'm already, it's got my body.
Vibing.
Yes. So they definitely created a vibe. There were some tracks that were weird to me, like the sound, like not necessarily the beat, but like Carnival was a little strange for me. I didn't really know what was going on there. It just sounded like chaos to me.
Hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up Carnival.
I'm sure it's for someone. It's just not for me. What was supposed to happen there? It was strange. Beg Forgiveness was another strange one. Well, I knew it was a Chris Brown feature. That was the only voice I recognized outside of Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign. But that part of it is fine. But then it keeps going, and I'm like, I don't really know what's happening here. And it kind of took me back to Carnival, and I was like, what happened at this point in
That
the
was funny.
album where what exactly was this, like the experiment hour? And then y'all were like, it actually came out good. Let's put these on
Yes.
the album.
Yes.
That was those two songs were very weird to me. And I was like, maybe it's great for someone else, but it's just not for me. Those are not songs that I will go back to because I'm like,
You could tell, in addition to that, I'm in agreement with that. You could tell some of the songs were like him getting in his 808 and Heartbreak bag and
yeah,
even his Yeezus bag. Two projects I'm not a fan of.
I don't know if I ever listened to you this. Obviously I know 808s and Heartbreaks, but
Yeah.
I don't know
But
if I ever
continue.
listened to Jesus. Yeah, so that was a little bit weird for me. I was like, oh, okay, happening here, but good luck to everybody else in their future endeavors. I just don't think that for me it's a go. Um, the one with the juvenile beat. I like that.
It
I
was a
like
good
that.
flip. Very good flip.
I like that. It was fun. It was fun. The beginning of the album, as soon as you start the album, it's actually really interesting to me because when I started the album, I was like, "Wow, this feels very this is like a very somber vibe." That first song that you hear, that intro, it feels very somber. You're like, "Oh, okay, so there's a vibe that you're getting as soon as you turn it on." But what's really interesting to me is that that's not necessarily the vibe that you get once you really get into it.
Agreed.
Which I don't know. To me, that was actually really interesting because I felt like it was almost like this is gonna be a weird analogy, but it was almost like walking into a speakeasy. It was like you're in the front room. I don't know. You're in the aquarium or whatever. You're in the pet store. That's a bad one. You're in the music shop. Better one. You're in the music
Definitely
shop
better.
and you're looking around at the guitars on the wall and you're looking around at different things. You don't see anybody at the counter. And then there's this door and you go through the door and that's where the real vibe is. That's where the real party is. That's where the fun is. That's where the drinks are. That's where the bar is. That's what this felt like.
That was a
Felt
great
like
analogy, except the pet shop.
I don't know where I was going with that, but yes, I feel like you kind of had to step into it a little bit. And once you got there, you were like, "Oh, this is fun. Love this." So yeah, it was fun. The reason I say that I don't know if I'll listen to it again, I guess that I just need to listen to it maybe once more just to see if I was listening to it while I was working. So I want to know how I feel about it when I'm not working, when I'm actually maybe relaxing,
Right.
or just like I want to listen to music.
Right.
Um, that's why I say I don't know, because you know, by the time I start getting into my work and the music is, I'm listening to it, but it's still
Very
in the
different vibe.
background. It's a different vibe. So because here I am saying all these positive things about it, but that was my reasoning, is that I heard it in a very specific type of setting, and obviously that's not the only time I'm going to be listening to music or listening to this particular album. So I'd like to listen to it again and, make a fair assessment after that. But I felt for the most part it was something that was fun and something that you could vibe to. You could have friends over and play it, and
Absolutely.
I think anything that involves like having fun, having drinks, going out, you want to dance or whatever. I feel like this is a perfect album. They created something well together. I like what they did together. Um, as far as lyrically goes with Kanye, I see where you're going with that. Um, but again, I didn't pay as much attention to the lyrics as I would normally do if I was just like, okay, let me turn this on and really listen to this, give this a deep listen. So
Gotcha.
for me, that's why I'm like, everything that I heard was more like, oh, this is fun. This very much reminds me of being out and, having a good time, listening to good music, no pun intended. And, vibes. And we like vibes.
Yep.
And then there were those weird songs. I also wanted to ask, do you think, I'm surprised. I meant to Google it, but I was wondering how Balenciaga felt about being mentioned alongside R. Kelly's name.
He don't give a fuck.
No, I didn't say he cares. Who?
I
Who
know.
do you,
Kanye don't care.
oh, I didn't think that Kanye did care.
Yeah, I don't know how they feel, but I
I'm
was like,
curious
oh,
because I
Kanye,
thought,
Kanye was wild for that one.
yeah, and I thought, and I think, I actually think Kanye's friends with the guy, the creative director over there. But
That's what he said on Drink Champs.
yeah, Olivier. Um, yeah, I was just curious about that. I was like, oof. Now, how Balenciaga get in it? It's the
Biggie,
R.
Kanye, and
Kelly.
Mike.
Oh my gosh. And I forgot he said that line about him not being an anti-Semite. I forgot about that line. We don't have to go down. He said that. And I was like, oh, I know this song. I don't think it really occurred to me until I heard that line. Okay, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so not a bad album at all. Definitely say anybody who's looking for something upbeat should check it out.
Yeah.
And
If you need something to play at the kickback,
perfect for the kickback. Yeah, perfect for the kickback. Make some jungle juice. You know, I don't know. Do people still make? Doesn't matter. Anyway, let's let's move on.
let's
Um,
move on. Well, are you done with your review?
I think that's my review. I'm trying to look and see if there was anything else. Oh, I think my favorite song was, or maybe, yes, okay. I don't know if I should call it my favorite song, but one song that stood out to me And then this is the last song that I'll point out is Paid. I thought Paid was really good. I liked it, but
I don't know them by name. Hold on, let me.
it's the one where Kanye doesn't sound like Kanye. I mean, I know you know it's him because you know what Kanye sounds like, but he sounds like, it reminds me of, is it Young Thug? I couldn't remember who he was. Who's
Oh, it's probably
that?
because Young Thug is on the record.
Is that Young Thug? So that's not Kanye. Okay, I don't like the fact
Hold
that I
on, let me
who's
spec
on.
it.
I knew I heard Young Thug.
Oh no, there's no feature on Page.
Yeah, then it's almost like he's mimicking his flow.
IG is on Do It. Quavo's on Paperwork.
I had no idea.
Buck Something is Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott. Vultures is Bump J and Little Durk. Carnival is Playboy Cardi and Rich the Kid.
Wasn't asking. Just a little funny.
And we already said Chris Brown is on the one song.
Wasn't asking about that one either.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought Paid was cool. But he's mimicking a flow that isn't typical of him.
Got you.
And I think that's why I was like, oh, he actually didn't do a bad job at this. I think I'm okay with this. And I think I would listen to this again.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
You know, neither one of us said anything about Miss Westie.
Because we've talked about it.
And there really isn't much to say, right?
It didn't feel like it belonged. And that's fine. If you wanted to make a song with your daughter and put it on your album, okay. But to me, it didn't, within the body of work, doesn't really fit.
I think like a lot of songs on the project, thank Ty Dolla Sign for saving this record.
Yeah. I truly think that song should have been released as a Lucy. I don't think that song should have been released as part of the album, but it's not a knock at Northwest at all. I think she sounds cute, and I think the song is fun. I think she's gone viral on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like
She did her job.
she did what she came to do, and I am not mad at her at all. I just think that I just don't, in the grand scheme of things, now that I've heard the album, I don't really think it needed to be there. It could have been somewhere. It just didn't need to be there.
Any last thoughts before we move to the next piece of this?
No, I think that's it.
All right, so let's talk about the Super Bowl ad. It's been a couple days now. You know, we had other things we felt were more prevalent to discuss, but Kanye had a Super Bowl ad. He had an ad where he basically is talking like this into his phone, and he spent no money recording to his phone. He purchased the $7 million slot for the ad.
Mm-hmm.
And he has since put out, I guess, proof that he made $19.3 million back.
Okay.
There's a breakdown. I have the breakdown of the ad, but I mean, I don't know if you need the breakdown, but point is, in return, it's supposed to be something like 284 orders, and 284,000 orders, 19.3 million in like 24 hours.
That's huge.
Yeah, and I think is really interesting and worth discussing. So I wanted to bring it here.
That shows you the power of reach and what I was talking about earlier in the week and how literally everyone watches the Super Bowl.
Word. That is very true.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised that it converted to as much sales as it did because, first of all, it's Kanye, and
Right.
I think Kanye is always going to have that reach. But yeah, and if there's one time where people like to watch commercials, it's the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Never want commercials any other time, but when the Super Bowl is on, people look forward to that. So, not surprising that it did so well. And I guess, Kanye needed to make back some of the money that he's lost over the last few years with, his business dealings that have, gone south.
I don't think this was about that, though. I think this was the opposite. I don't think this was about money. I think this was showing people his reach. I think that's what this was. I think this was less about I mean, we don't really need the report now that we're here, but
Mm-hmm.
I think this was less about me getting money back and more about me showing to brands, here's what I can do with
Mm-hmm.
no budget.
I see that. It doesn't mean
He
that he
didn't
didn't
have a
profit off of it.
Superfly, let's try to break the internet Beyonce ad. He had, I pulled out my phone, I spoke into my phone, and
Mm-hmm.
I paid for the slot. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, but he still did make a profit off of it. So,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that was his reason, but he did make a hefty amount of money, and that's we've seen Kanye over the last couple of years lose a lot of money. So I'm sure it doesn't hurt that he was able to make that money in that much money in one shot. So yeah, but I mean, I see him proving his reach. I don't even know that he has to prove his reach.
Oh, I think he does after all the things that have happened with Adidas, with Gap, with Balenciaga, with all these deals that went sour, all these companies that feel indecisive or unsure about doing business with him. I
Hmm.
think this is how you do it. I think you show them one, here's the genius of my marketing. Here's the genius of my mind and creativity.
Uh huh.
And here is how business savvy I am. I think this proves three in one, especially to the big companies. Because truly,
Uh
this is
huh.
a genius move. I mean, Gary Vee has said stuff like this for years, but who you seen do it? Who have we seen just pull out their phone, talk to their phone,
Hmm.
and then send that shit out to the Super Bowl? Like, wow, this is a game changer. This is a genius move. And it worked. Even if it didn't work, you could have said that was a genius move with poor execution. It was a genius move with perfect execution. He
Hmm.
made almost triple his money in a day. We don't even know what the report is today. He
Right.
just posted that 24 hours later. Imagine today, I'm sure sales are still trickling in. He very easily probably made triple his money.
Do you think it's gonna matter to brands?
I think a lot of brands, it will, because more brands care about their bottom line than their public image and how their brand looks to the people. I think a lot of brands are concerned with money, not brand identity.
I'm just curious because I know that there's been who came out recently or last week or something said that they didn't want anything to do with him. I can't remember who it was. And then I know we talked about him finding venues for his tour also, and speculating what the reason might be that he might be having a hard time finding venues. So I was just curious what you thought about that because, I mean, um, he has made some waves with his
Yep.
opinion and his beliefs. So I'm curious to see how this goes. And who jumps back on the bandwagon with Kanye? Because I'm sure you're right. I'm sure there's going to be brands who don't care as much about those things and just want to make sure that their bottom line is secure and that they're making a profit off of whatever it is. So I could totally see brands flocking towards Kanye at this point. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
they'll
listen,
make the money, and I think everyone knows that. I think I understand him having to now prove himself because he's lost the trust of some people, but I think they know what they're getting when they get into business with him. So I'm curious to see if this particular thing that he did will, like in the next couple of months, we'll see, oh, this person decided to collab with him, or this company tried to do this with him.
if you are one of the companies who is debating whether to do this business move with Kanye or not,
Mhm.
and then this happens, what you think? if it's you the head of the board, you the CEO, whatever, of, let's just say, Adidas, what you do now?
It depends on the company.
I just said you are the CEO of Adidas.
Oh, Adidas,
What you
sorry.
do now?
Well, didn't Adidas already get back in business with him?
Sure, but I'm saying we know him and Adidas have a murky relationship. So I'm asking you, Dash, if you were the CEO of Adidas and then this information comes out, what you do?
I put out more products.
Okay.
But the see, Adidas is tricky because Adidas is also a German company, and I think that matters with
Hmm.
the stuff that Kanye says and the stuff that Kanye spews. I think culturally it matters, and I think that's why they had problems with Kanye the last few years. So that one is tricky. The reason I say yes, make more products or put out more products is because they have come to some sort of agreement with him, in a way for them to move forward, at least for the present time. I don't know how long that they intend on doing that, but I think their latest deal is more to deal with the unfinished business that they had with him.
Yeah.
So, of course, and I could see it being maybe they don't do something long term, like a I don't know how long these deals go for, but maybe they don't do something long term and they do something short term while it's whatever time frame they negotiated for what he was already doing. They could easily say, okay, why don't we put out another shoe under the same line, or why don't we do this, or why don't we? I mean, I could see it happening. I'm not. I don't think that. I don't think that every company will say no. I'm not interested in doing this, but I do think there will be some. And for a guy like Kanye West, as big as he is, probably doesn't matter because for every person with a moral high ground, there's someone without one. So
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked, because I think there are plenty of companies that are going to see this and double down on their business dealings with him or seek out new business dealings with him so they could run it up.
yeah,
Someone who could triple the value of something like this or triple the investment like this is someone of high value to any conglomerate trying to bring up their bottom line.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got. Any last thoughts?
I'm
All
all
right,
kinds of
me too. All right, folks, we're out of here. This is Weeknights. Thank you for joining us. We will see y'all tomorrow night.
bye.